So, with the vanishing point, you're going to go to every corner and angle on the top, middle, and bottom of your layers that you can get to with your straight edge without going through your letters. And the lines you're going to have are going to go like a sun. So the ones coming over here are going to go to the angle this way. Some are going to go here, and then some are going to go here. This one's going to be pointing to 6 o'clock if you had a clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. They're going to rotate around. Every line that you make to the vanishing point, you need to use a straight edge. You don't have to make your lines go all the way to the vanishing point if you don't want to. You can make them shorter. The further below the vanishing point you are, the better you're off you are. I had somebody write them very close up here. And if you have the letter very close to yours, you're going to end up with almost a horizontal line, and it gets distorted, and you kind of get confused. So you want to try to get your letters down to the bottom third of your page, and your vanishing closer to the top. And your point is not a dot. Your point is a point. And you want to stay as close and true to that point as possible. You're going to take it, and you're going to take it to the vanishing point. On your curves, you take it to your vanishing point, and you curve it around until it touches that edge, and then you draw your line. You go to your inside curves and your inside points, anything that you will see without going through your letter. We're not drawing any see-through letters. I'm doing mine in pen so that you can see at home and on the video, so I won't be able to erase any of my marks. And you go to every single curve, inside and outside, that you can get to. And every single one of them lines up with your vanishing point. This is one of those assignments that's really easy to grade because it's obvious which way is wrong or incorrect versus what is right. Because a lot of art is subjective, and this is not. This is the way it's done to be correct. As you get to the middle of your page, your lines are going to go more to the vertical. And so it sometimes gets a little bit confusing. But just imagine you're standing on the top of the stair. You can only see the top of the stair. You can't see the underside of the stair. So just try to visualize yourself as the vanishing point that you're looking down at. And what would you be able to see from where you're at? Your word has to be at least 5 letters, or you can use one shape and 4 letters. So if your name is a 4-letter word, then you can do your name with something. If you have a 3-letter word, you can do your name, your initial, and a shape. You can figure it out. Get creative. You want to make sure you're drawing very lightly, that you're not carving into your page, because you won't be able to erase. So imagine your pencil being lifted out of your hand as you draw. So that's a lot of lines. So they're all going to the vanishing point. If I skipped one, on the next step I'll figure it out. You want to make your thickness about an inch, inch and a half. Because if you go skinnier than that, then you start seeing these inside shapes, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. But you want to make them about inch, inch and a half. With your thumb, that's a good guide. Alright, let's keep this relevant. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine the back is the same as the front. So if my front, so these are my fronts, okay? My letter is my front. And so this is my line that is my front. So when I say the front, this is my line that's the front. So I'm going to try to mirror that and create a parallel plane. So it goes across and down. So what I do is I typically put my pencil over that line and I get a feel for it. And so then I draw it. And it ends where the other letter begins. Now the back, I have about an inch. So I want the back to be the same. My front here is a vertical. So my back should be a vertical, and I want to be about the same thickness. And so I have that ledge there in the front, and then I have that ledge in the back, so I know it's correct. I can't get to this inside corner from here, so I know that I'm done with my P. Alright, this is my front here. It is a horizontal. I'm going to try to make them similar thicknesses. So I go over here and I make my horizontal. So there's parallel lines. I want to make it similar in thickness. So I'm going to go over here and make it similar in thickness. So it's not like thin, thick, thin, thick. It's kind of consistent. My front on this one here, I have a corner. And this is where people miss. I have a vertical in the front. So I have a vertical in the back. And it ends where the other part of the pumpkin begins. I also have a vertical here. So I have a vertical there. This is a horizontal. So this is a horizontal. This is a horizontal. So this is a horizontal. This is a diagonal. So this is a diagonal. This is a diagonal. So this is a diagonal. So these are all parallel lines. This is a curve. Again, what I do for curves is I kind of put my pencil over it, kind of get a feel for my curve, and I'm trying to match it. So I match it. This horizontal. Oh, sorry. This is a horizontal. So this is a horizontal. This is a diagonal. So this is a diagonal. So these are parallel. This is a vertical, and it has a little bit of a curve, so I'm going to try to mimic that curve. I stop where I touch that letter, and then I bring it up. This one here is a diagonal, so this one here is a diagonal. Wherever I have a front, I have a back. The front is a horizontal, so my back is a horizontal. My front is a vertical, so my back is a vertical. So you imagine yourself going there, and then you go through it, and then you come out the other side. My front is a horizontal, so my back is a horizontal. My front is a horizontal, my back is a horizontal. So now I've kind of made them all the same thickness, so I have some consistency there. My front is a vertical, so I make the back a vertical. My front is a vertical, so I made the back into a vertical. So now I have three-dimensional letters in one-point perspective, so they appear to get smaller as they go away from you, so they're coming and protruding towards you. I also said that you want to keep them a little bit thicker. And when you don't do it a little thick, what happens is you end up with some weirdness going on. Okay, so if I take these to the vanishing point, I'll show you what that looks like. So if I try to do this here, and I make them short, but if I make them skinny, then what I have to do here is I have to draw my inside. Okay? And so then you get a little bit of confusion on that way. And so you don't, if you make them as thick as I showed you, there's a good chance you won't have to mess with the middles of your shapes. Now when you have this and you want to figure out where your bottom is, you can't see the top and the bottom at the same time. So where those lines come in, you imagine this coming down. You imagine it coming down, and then that's where you would see this. Okay? Because you can't, if I was to do it over here like this, you couldn't see up into it and down on it at the same time. Okay? So I'm looking at the top of this and the inside top of that side. So you cannot do that. Okay? So that's why you want to kind of imagine this coming down like that, and then you kind of know where this goes. So this is why I'm saying I want you to try to avoid getting too skinny on your letters, because it gets to be a little bit more confusing. Now, if you do get confused, you can call me on Teams, and I can show you how to do it. You can try to find videos for it, or you can say, Miss Daggy, how do you do this letter? And I can show you. And so you have your curve here. That doesn't match up very good. There we go. And you want to keep them consistent. So I'm doing about a quarter inch. You don't want to have one that's way fat over here and then very skinny. It doesn't make sense that way. Now this one, again, you're going to have this thing. So you have to imagine this going through here. And that if you could see right here, you could see right there. So this would be like this. Yeah, you can see right there. Because you don't want it to be able to see this side and that side at the same time. So it's kind of going to go... It's going to go like right there. So you have to imagine this coming through right here, because you cannot see into it and this side at the same time. So you kind of have to imagine what you could see visually, because if your eye was there looking in, I can see this, I can see this, and I can see this. I could not see everything all at once. So this is your assignment. Make sure you're checking in your announcements daily. You have 4 letters plus a symbol or 5 or more letters. 3 fingers tall at least. Block or bubble letters. You must have a vanishing point and use a straight edge. Must use a straight edge. Don't try to freehand it. Objects must appear to disappear. That's the only way you can do this. So you'll get this if you use this. Color and design, extra. I'm looking for technical accuracy for this because it's a beginning assignment.